Hey guys, how's it going? Today we're going to spend a bit of time out here in the greenhouse planting some lettuce seeds. I'm so excited for this type of project again, starting some new things out here. I mean, here we are, week of Christmas. In fact, I did want to mention that our videos this week are going to probably be smaller projects because we do have a lot going on, family gatherings and things. And I just want to enjoy the season with the kids too. And I feel like I've got everything decorated that I needed to or wanted to decorate. And I also have all my gifts. Some years I've left it to like 2 days or the day before Christmas, and that is not a good feeling. So last night I got everything laid out. I checked everything off my list. I think I'm ready to go. So I'm really looking forward to this week being a little bit quieter, and planting lettuce is kind of the perfect way to start it. Got my whole setup here. We've got our seed starting trays. These are the self-watering ones that I love so much. And then our lettuce here, we've got 2 new varieties. In fact, I just unboxed these recently. One of them is an iceberg called Crispino, and the other is a butterhead called Casey. Now both of these can be grown for baby leaf, like you can let them grow up a little bit and then cut them, and then they will regrow and you can cut them again. Or you can let them grow up to head stage, which is what I want to do. And to do that, they do recommend that you start them in seed trays first. And their ideal temperature for germination is between 60 to 65, which this greenhouse is being very erratic right now, and I really don't know how to control it, but I think that's about the range we're staying in. One night though, so you know, the one night the door was left open and obviously things frozen here. And then just a couple of nights ago, we thought we had everything fine. The door was shut. I came in here in the morning and I started the water up and no water would come out of the hose. The hose inside the greenhouse had ice in it. It was frozen in here. And the thermostat said it was 65. I don't really know what's going on with that. So I'm thinking maybe I need a separate thermostat that's apart from our system that will alert me, something that just operates maybe on the other end of the greenhouse so that I have a good idea, because that could be a problem too. The heater's way back here and the water is way in front. Either way, I feel like the last couple of days, every time I come in here, it feels like a good temperature. Lettuce seed does not germinate very well over 70 degrees. But let me tell you what, these seeds are pelleted, which there's pros and cons to that. Pelleted seed, let me show you what it looks like. So we've got the Casey lettuce right here. That's what the pelleted seed looks like. It looks like little balls of clay, and it makes them much easier to work with because lettuce seed is pretty small on its own. One of the biggest advantages to pelleted seed to me is just the increased size of the seed. It makes them so much easier to plant. Like if you get, for example, like foxglove seed, so tiny, you can get those pelleted and they're so much easier to work with. And that way you don't accidentally, pour 15 seeds into one little seed tray or seed cell instead of, just getting 1 or 2 in there. The other thing is that lettuce seed, if it is exposed to extreme temperatures, too much heat especially, it will go into what's called thermal dormancy. Nothing will happen with that seed because it's just too hot. So something about the priming process, and I don't know all the science behind it, but something about the priming process when they're being pelleted, it makes them the seed better able to handle more extremes in the temperature range. So while its ideal temperature for germination is between 60 and 68-ish, if it's a little bit warmer and you have pelleted seed, you'll have better luck with germination. The only disadvantage I can think of with pelleted seed is that your shelf life does go down. They say to use it within the year that you buy it, if it is pelleted. And I guess maybe the other one would be the seed is usually a little more expensive if you buy it pelleted because there's, more work being done on the seed to get it to you in that form. But to me, in some cases, it's worth the extra cost. Lettuce is a cool season crop. So it is one of the first ones you can direct seed out in the garden in the spring once you can work the soil. It's nice to have those few crops that you can, extend your gardening season just a little bit because it can handle it. Now let's say we were later on in the winter and I was just starting these seedlings like we were closer to spring. If I got the seedlings up a little bit and then properly hardened them off over the course of maybe like 4 or 5 days, I could plant them out in the garden and they can withstand temps down into the 20s. Like they're pretty tough. And when I say hardening off the seedlings, that means exposing them to more and more of what it's like outside versus what it's like in the greenhouse. So you'd start with maybe putting them out for a couple hours during the day in a protected spot, and then you would increase that amount of time over the course of several days to where they're more used to being out there instead of just going from greenhouse all tender, in here all warm and coddled, and then you throw them out into the cold garden and they probably wouldn't handle the cold as well. They wouldn't. Not probably. They wouldn't. All right, so this is our setup for today's project. I have 2 trays. These are the self-watering seed trays from Gardener Supply that I love so much. I've showed them to you a bunch. I did swap the tops for taller domes, though. They don't fit 100%. but I like how high they are. These are the ones that came off the root trainers, like the ones I start my sweet peas in. They have much deeper root capacity, but I like how these can accommodate larger seedlings. Anyway, we've got 24 cells here, and then this is how the self-watering reservoir works. We've got a watertight tray, and then we've got this little platform that you stick in here. Water goes in here, and then this capillary mat folds over on one side and goes down into the water, and then it wicks moisture up and across, and then the soil draws the moisture up into the cells. This tray has been a game changer for me, like huge game changer. I tried to do a bunch of stuff in 72 count cell trays and like larger trays this past year, and I'll probably still grow a few crops like that, but I had so much better luck with the self-watering ones. I don't know why. You know, every year is a little bit different, but I do really like these. We've got a couple of tags and my garden marker so we can identify what is in each of these trays. And then we have our seed starting mix right here. So just really good, lofty blend of soil to help the seedlings grow. It helps with root development because it's not a super heavy soil. Couple of things. So these seed trays have 24 cells each. So if I start a full tray of each one of these varieties of lettuce, that's 48 heads of lettuce maturing at relatively the same time. They have a maturity date ranging, I think, 55, 57 days. We don't eat that much lettuce, but since we have lots of space in here right now, I thought, well, why not? It would be fun to experiment and just have a whole tray full of it. And just in case something happens with the temperature in here or whatever, you know, we have better luck if we have more of them. Also, you could skip the seed tray part and you could put them in larger containers because that's what I'm going to eventually have to do. But with the self-watering reservoir part here, keeping the seedlings moist in the very beginning can be a little bit of a trial, more so when things start revving up, not as much now, but it's really nice if I want to skip a day. Like if I'm inside and I just don't feel like coming out here to water stuff, I know my seeds will be fine because they've got the seed, they're the water reservoir. So that's why I'm going to go to the trouble of doing them in a seed tray and then potting them up later. Okay, so I'm going to prep my soil first. So we will pour some of this in this tray and we'll mix it with a bit of water. We'll load up our seed trays and then I'll talk through the planting process. That's perfect. I can squeeze it really hard and like I get a couple drips of water, not a lot. It's not super soggy, but it'll keep a form. We fill them up. You do want to make sure to lightly tamp the soil down in each one of the cells and add a little bit more if you need to, because you don't want that soil to settle too much after you've watered it in. You know how sometimes it'll do that. And you want to make sure you have sufficient soil and that it can cover the seed really well. Perfect. Let's do tray number 2. I mixed up a little bit too much soil today, but we can reuse this. We can wet it down again when we're ready to plant more seeds. So usually I just pile it in a corner and then I'll cover it with the bag. I still have some soil in this bag, or like a burlap sack or something. Keep the cats out of it. Just like that. And before we plant our seeds, I'm going to go ahead and identify each one of these trays because I am really good at mixing them up. I always think I won't, but I do. Crispino is in this one and Casey will be in this one. There, we can't mess up now. Now these seeds do not need to be buried very deep, like 1/8 of an inch, so just barely cover them with soil. You can use a layer of vermiculite, which I typically do on all my seed trays, but I need to go pick some up. So today we're gonna go without that, which is totally fine. So let's get these planted. I'm gonna do 2 seeds per cell, just to make sure that I get good germination. I'll have to thin one out later. I'm gonna go along and make just tiny little indents in the top of each one of these cells. These seeds are so much easier to see than normal, regular, unpelleted lettuce seeds. Now, if you wanted to stretch how many seeds you plant in this tray, instead of doing a cell right in the center, you could do 2, kind of like this right here. See right here how there's 2 rather than just the 1? That way you have 2 seedlings come up. When you get to the point where you're going to be potting these up, you can take the this one out of its cell and you can break it apart and have 2 plants versus the 1. I do not need that much lettuce, so we're just going to go in the center here just so that everything is Well, I like them to be centered in the end. Okay, our tray of Crispino is done, so let's plant our Casey. Oh, I'm excited to see some green, you guys. I did water them down with this little mister right here. It's the first time ever trying out this mister. Works really nicely. You just pump it up and it's a 360, so you can go upside down and it still works. Oh, I love that. Anyway, once you have your setup and you kind of figure out what soil you like and what trays you like, it gets even easier. I love these self-watering reservoir trays clearly, but I also like, they have this tray that I think is roughly 11 by 22, which is the standard tray. I can't remember how many cells, but they're paper pots without a bottom. So they come very thin, like it's like folded up paper, and then they accordion style fold out and clip to the ends of the tray. And you put your soil in there, grow your stuff, and when you take them out to the garden, they just come apart very easily, but they didn't fall apart. Like the paper didn't deteriorate faster than it took for the plants to grow, which was perfect. I grew amaranth in them 2 seasons ago, and it worked out beautifully, and I kind of want to do that, especially for like zinnias and cosmos if I decide to start them in here this year instead of direct seeding. I just felt like it was a very streamlined process if you want more seedlings. So now all we need to do is put our domes on, which help keep humidity and moisture levels up, and then just monitor the moisture. You do not want to let the soil dry out until you see germination. And even really after they germinate, you know, keep them on the moist-ish side, damp, not super soggy. Once they get their first set of true leaves, then you can start backing off just a little bit on water. And at this point, you could fill the self-watering reservoirs if you wanted to. That will help the soil maintain moisture for sure. But you know, there's no plant in there yet. There's no roots developed that will utilize that water. So typically I like to kind of keep my eyes on them for the first few days. These will take like 7 to 14 days to germinate. Keep them wet with my mister bottle, and when it's cooler out, they stay moist for a lot longer. Once I start seeing some growth on the plants, then I will start filling up the self-watering reservoirs, and that's how I will primarily water. And most plants want to be watered from the bottom anyway. They just develop better, and it's better for the foliage and all of that. And you guys, we're gearing up. Look at this. So we keep a few bags of regular potting mix in here to keep them thawed out. A couple bags of raised bed mix, again to keep it thawed. Look at these. Oh yeah, we have some exciting days ahead of us this winter. So the Espoma seed starting mix, sometimes my dad can get his hands on it through the garden center, which is how I ordered it this time. I tell him to always keep his eyes open to see like the people he orders from if they have it in stock. A time or two we've had to have it drop shipped to our True Value here in town. That worked out well. Anyway, to get the bigger bags. You can find the smaller bags fairly easily, but the bigger bags are so nice, and we do go through quite a bit of it that is more efficient for us. All right, guys, so that is it for today's project. What a fun couple of hours just in here enjoying it's just so peaceful out here. You know, the cats are in and out. The kids came in at one point. I do need to do quite a bit of like repotting and stuff that might be on the docket this week. I'm just kind of letting this week happen how it happens. So I have no idea what I have in store for you guys over the next couple of days, but it'll probably consist of projects I'm guessing in here. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope it was interesting. If you have a spot that you have temperatures like 60 to 70 degrees, right in that range, be excellent spot to start lettuce. Just make sure you have a good strong light source once they germinate. Of course, they don't need it right now when they're not above the soil surface. But once you know they germinate, if you have a light source, then you can have fresh lettuce through the winter months. And I think that's pretty awesome. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.